If you love movies and movie discussions, you've come to the right place. Who am I, you ask? I am the Wiz, and I'm here to review the 2015 comedy drama Tangerine, directed by Sean Baker. Alright, so if you've heard of Tangerine, you've probably heard of two things about this movie. One, it's about transgender prostitutes and a day in their life, and that it was shot completely on an iPhone 5S. I want to start with that right away first. I'll get into the story and everything else, but the very first thing I need to discuss with Tangerine is how beautifully shot the grime, the grit, and the flavor of LA is in this movie. It is colorfully shot. It is beautifully shot in this movie. If you really pay attention, I mean really pay attention, you'll see maybe some artifacting or some picture quality issues when it comes to the shooting of this film. But honestly, you would have to really look when you watch this film. What I want to say also is what Sean Baker did very well in this is how he shot the film when it comes to the seedier and grimier stuff in the film. Like when you are in back alleys, when you are in dilapidated hotel rooms, the shots in the film are actually much more colorful and vibrant, which was an interesting juxtaposition to actually watch in the film when they're doing these things that, you know, are not great for you, honestly, but they are shot with this vibrant color. There's one example I have, which is in the hotel room where all the prostitutes are servicing people, and it's like a deep blue in the background along with all these other colors in there. Another thing I want to discuss is how the natural elements in the film are shot, which is also very well done. We have shots of the sunset, of the sky, darkness, gravel, stuff like that are all shot very well. Just the way this film looks when it comes to the visual motif is actually, I think, really well done in this. I was really quite surprised because when I kept hearing, oh, it's shot in a 5S, I was really expecting it to be very grainy, very ugly, but it really is not. It's actually incredibly impressive. But so let's get right into the story. One of the things about the story that really caught my eye is how it's showing these desperate lives, but in a very compassionate but also humorous way. This is actually a very hard thing to balance because you want to show what their life is without actually making it too depressing, because this is a comedy and drama as well, but I think it's meant to be more of a comedy, but it actually really works in that. It's mainly because the film does not talk down to these characters. Even though these characters are living not great lives, most of them are like prostitutes and pimps in this movie. But the film doesn't want you to feel sorry for them, nor does it want you to really laugh at them, but laugh at the circumstances that they get themselves into and the emotions that are run through the film. And with that, I want to highlight the performance of Katana Kiki Rodriguez in this, because I think she is very good in this. I think she's great as the lead in this film. She's not only very humorous in the film with the way she reacts to everything, she over-exaggerates, embellishes a lot in this movie, but when it comes to the more emotionally resonant parts of the film, I think she also lands the part very well. I think for the most part, the performances are actually pretty good in this movie. These are a lot of no-name actors. I think a lot of them are actually actors that haven't done a lot of work. I know Rodriguez is one who hasn't. I think she still hasn't to this day. I think this is the only film she's ever done, and I think she's done a great job in this. Now, I've showered a lot of praise on this movie, but I have one big issue, and it's big enough to where I have to question certain aspects of the film. And it's that even in 90 minutes, I think some of the characters could still have been cut in this film. There's two I want to discuss. One is Alexandria, who's played by Maya Taylor. She's not bad in the film, but also she's kind of a non-consequential character until the end. With this character, I wouldn't mind if she would pop up every once in a while trying to deal with the rage of Sin-Dee, which is Rodriguez's character in the film. But hers is not really a problem, but it was kind of like, why is this there? Why are we showing more of this character? So that's minor. The major problem I have is the cab driver in this film. This character, when it comes to the main story of the film, which I think is about Sin-Dee, just feels like it's tacked on. It's especially apparent in the middle of the film because you have this very humanistic, humorous, but also compassionate story about these people who get ostracized, who get made fun of, who get called names, who get abused. And yet you have a character like the cab driver whose attraction and his obsession with these characters are played for laughs. It just feels like this film has this problem where you want to humanize and make you feel for these characters, and yet you want to laugh at the person who loves these characters. It's this one thing that I have in this film that really bugged the hell out of me in this film. I just had to ask, like, why would you have this really loving portrayal and this very compassionate portrayal of these characters, these transgender prostitutes, and then have a character who is basically used as comedic fodder for being attracted to these characters. I don't understand that. There's probably a good reason why that's there. I'm just not seeing it, but it kind of confuses me as to why this character is there. So overall, I'm going to recommend Tangerine. However, I do have to point out that I did have a big issue with the cab driver character. And I think what works is centered around Sin-Dee and the performance of Kitana Kiki Rodriguez. I think if the film just stayed with her and concentrated on her, and hell, if that means paring it down to 70, 75 minutes, all the better. Or just fleshing out what that character goes through, I think would have been a lot better in the end. But even with those problems I have, I think this is a very emotionally resonant film. It's funny in spots. I think that the way it's shot is beautiful, but I think it just has that one glaring problem that I can't give a high recommendation on. So overall, I recommend Tangerine. Check it out. Like everywhere. I watched it on Netflix, but I didn't realize it's on like Tubi. It's on like it's everywhere. So if you want to watch it, it's easy to find.
Now, if you want my full review on this movie, you can go to my website at IamTheWiz.com. You'll have my full written review right on the site, along with a link to the video that has this review that you've just listened to. Thank you for listening to this review. If you want to know what we're reviewing in the next couple of days, you can look on the screen right now to see what's coming up next. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and leave a like on this video. If you want to discuss your opinion on the film or the review itself, please leave a comment. And if you want to hear more, subscribe to the channel. Thank you again for listening. I will talk to you next time.